Hey, what is going on, folk? I am back with another presentation. First off, I want everybody to clap it up real quick. Let's all just clap it up. I got an interesting topic today. We're going to talk about talent. Yeah, we're going to talk about talent today because we're going to talk about success. What role that plays in having success. Y'all heard of that old debate when it comes down to nature versus nurture? Which one of those two elements has the most influence in a person's life? Specifically, some of the traits getting passed down, some of the talent, and ultimately that success and what kind of destiny that leads that person. So that's what we're going to go into. That's going to be today's question. I want y'all to listen carefully. Is talent something that's from genetics? Is it something from the environment? Or is it something that's God-given? We're going to look at all three aspects. Now, let's go into the genetics aspect. Any of y'all parents are ball players? Any of y'all got parents who were ball players when they were younger? Notice how I had my hand up. My mom ran track in high school. She also played basketball in high school and went on to play at a junior college when it comes to basketball. My dad, he done it all. He done football in high school. He done ran track. He done played basketball, and he went on and took his talents in basketball to the college level. So you can see how genetics can play a role in that. Now, I read something very interesting in the article, right? I read that there is a protein in muscle called the ACTN3 protein. And it's something that's genetically inherited. And what that protein is responsible for is for rapid muscle contraction. So when it comes to exercises like sprinting and powerlifting, that protein is something that's activated when it comes to those two areas. So I've learned that ACTN3 protein is something that's genetically inherited. So when you're looking at your world's fastest sprinters, the world's most powerful men, the world's most strongest men and women for that matter, chances are they got a high level of that protein that's inside of their body. And a lot of that has to be inherited. So that's just one example of how talent can be something that can be genetically passed down, that the parents can pass down to the offspring. Now we're going to go into environment, how much environment plays a role. Now, environment has to do with everything from nutrition to where you live, where you grew up, the neighborhood you've been in, the cultures that you were exposed to, the sports that you played. All that has a role when it comes down to the environment. The nutrition, we talking about your protein, we talking about your vegetables. Having a good healthy diet. That's good for your muscles. That's good for your bone structure. Being involved in being exposed to different sports. I remember I was exposed to everything from t-ball at an early age, to basketball, to football, to track and field. I wasn't good at every sport that I played, but I kind of narrowed it down to the main two that I wanted to continue on doing, growing up into my teenage years, my high school years. Being exposed to different coaches. Having that opportunity to be trained at a certain level. Y'all notice how you see those track sprinters when they go off into a dead sprint? They've been training so long that it seems that when they go into a dead sprint, their motion is so fluid It's almost as if they're not even trying. Their faces relaxed, their jaws are just wiggling. They're not even trying. It just looks so smooth and so easy for them. And that just goes back to the amount of training, which in turn goes to the environment. So do y'all get how environment plays a role? So that's one of the things is environment when it comes down to talent. Me being exposed to watching college football at an early age, watching high school football at an early age, watching the NFL football, seeing those guys playing at a high level, that motivated me to make me want to play at a high level. All that goes back towards the environment, how you grew up. Now, is talent something that's God-given? I had read a book called The Uncommon Daily Challenge by Tony Dungy. I put this book in one of the books that I've read description on my Facebook page, but it's called Uncommon Daily Challenge. And in the book, Tony Dungy explains how God has given us different passions, different talents, and different interests, and they're all on different levels. So in other words, to show how unique you are, there's nobody that put before you, and there's nobody that's going to come after you who has that same level of interest and that same level of talent that you have. That's why a lot of times you may see a father who may be a gifted athlete, but their son may not be as gifted. Or you may have a father or a mother who's an average athlete, and their offspring end up becoming superior athletes because that talent is given in different measures. Y'all see where I'm going with this? Y'all notice how parents like to take credit for the talent that their children have? Just listen to them talk. Oh, smart people running my family. Tall people running my family. Educated people running my family. You know, we got a strong line of athletics that go on my family. But when it comes down to any of those bad characteristics, those bad traits, it's almost like they start looking around to point the finger. Oh, I don't know where he get that from. The same thing can be said about talent. There may be a certain skill set, a certain talent that may not have been there when that child was growing up. But the talent starts to show himself once that child is grown up. Once they're exposed to other people. Y'all see what I'm saying? So sometimes there's some talent that may not have anything to do with genetics. May not have anything to do with the environment for the most part. It's something that's been given to that person that may show up later on in life. So that kind of makes you think, who takes the credit for that? We can look at scripture. We can look at scripture when it comes to talent, because there's a lot of talented, a lot of extraordinary people in the Bible. The book of Judges, when it comes to Samson and his superhuman strength. The book of Daniel, where he had that talent to interpret dreams. Oh, you remember King Solomon? Having the most wisdom out of any king of his time. And think about it. The talent that's been given to them had a purpose. The reason why Daniel had that wisdom was so he can he can use that to make decisions that leads God's people in the direction that it needed to go. Samson had superhuman strength so that he can become the leader of the Israel people in order to take over the Philistines, because they were the enemy. That was the whole purpose of him having the superhuman strength, is to wipe out the Philistines. Same thing with Daniel. Not only did Daniel's talent and ability to interpret and read dreams, not only did that help him get promoted into the kingdom's palace, but he used that to let King Nebuchadnezzar know, hey, you screwing up. If you don't change, something's going to happen to you. So you see, talent is not just about, you can't just use your talent just to make money, just to gain some popularity, some fame. That talent can be used to help do God's will. That talent can be used to inspire and motivate other people. So as I bring this down to a close, as you can see, all three play a factor. The hereditary, the environment, and talent being God-given. All three of those play a factor. So who do you give the credit to? That's the question. Who do you give the credit to? Talent alone does not guarantee success. Yeah, I told you that we was going to have a link between talent and success. What kind of role they play. Talent alone doesn't bring success. You got to factor in the character. Like I said before, using that talent not for evil, but for good. Doing it to fulfill God's will. Doing it to inspire and motivate other people. That's how character comes into play. I said it in the previous videos. The people who got that high character are the ones who usually are successful in life. Having a work ethic. There's a saying that says, hard work beats talent if talent doesn't work hard. Do y'all get that? Hard work beats talent if talent doesn't work hard. So once you reach a certain pinnacle in life, the grind doesn't stop. You got to keep moving. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself losing some of that talent. Desire plays a role in it too. You can't make anybody want to excel in school. You can't make anybody want to excel in sports. You can't make anybody want to work hard and excel through college, to get a business started, to have a successful career. You can't make people serve God when they don't want to. So that's when the desire comes in. You should have that desire to where nobody should tell you to work hard. Nobody should tell you to go out there and put in work. It's already a part of you. So that's how all three aspects come into play when it comes down to talent and success. Feel free to put your 2 cents in.